Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ms.Nhi Podcast. And as usual, I love to bring my work friend, my business partner, and whoever that I've been knowing, true life, real story, and whoever that I'm being inspired of how the story they been bring to me and they support me a lot in terms of positive mindset and grow my life as well. And today I bring my one of my good friend and also my business partner. It's Cammy, and Cammy used to be a consultant for hotels and in the interior designer for the last 10 years. What I love about Cammy is how much she been book her passion, her hard work, her love for the job that she been doing for many years, and that's why I want her to come to the show and share with you guys more about how much this industry have go and what else you can learn from her. Hi, Cammy. Thanks to be my guest today. Thanks for taking my
Hi.
invitation. Let's
Yep.
share with the audience a little bit about you and what you've been doing.
Hi everyone. My name is Cammy. I'm actually currently is an interior designer, which is at first I'm not. I'm used to be a graphic designer for 8 years. So we actually for the past 8 years before I become interior designers, I've been in graphics that I have doing some of the PFO display for some of the quite big company like Levi's, uh, HSBC, and I also do for Sony. But all of our products to send to overseas. So we are doing Asia Pacific. That's part before I become an interior. After that, I realized that I like interior design. So I actually further my study. So I study again. So I'm actually become an interior for the past 10 years. So I've been in this line for 10 years and I doing residentials and I actually like my job very much, which is I enjoy doing what I'm doing. That's me for in this
Yeah.
line. Mm.
Uh you know like when I meet Cammy, what I was impressed the most is how much when Cammy share about her work and I was like even I know nothing about internet designer, I will fall into like how much she been into detail and creativity and bring the best value to every project that she done that I'm been like I'm witness to see how much she really put her heart and her soul inside. That's why I want to ask a little bit like how do you feel inspire yourself when you do this job, because like you say it's not only just you love, like you really do it with heart and soul. Where is that come from and what pain make you bring the best of this job to the world to show people that internet designer is more than just copy and paste like what the like what other people think.
Okay. Basically, for me, right, is of course you need to pay attention to your client needs. A lot of people
Mm,
is I mean a lot of interior they were saying okay I'll do whatever I like, but to me the client needs and requirement is a priority. It's a house that they call home, not a house I call home. Of course, I need to put everything details into the house to make it make their dream come true instead of my dream come true because it's their house. And for me, a lot of people say because it's other people's house, so I just do nice and it's not functional, it's okay. It's only nice. So to me, it's like functionality, uh, quality, workmanship, everything to come in right as if that's your own house. So you need to do until to this extent, right? Besides, I love the place, you need to tell yourself this is your own house. Will you accept if you do something, or it's not you accept, but or you can say, will you be okay or not if people do your house? Okay lah. As long as you can accept them, can already. Will you accept? Like you go and buy things, the things that got a bit hole lah. You think it's okay lah, never mind lah. But it's a few thousand kind of things. You say, oh, it's okay, never mind, I can accept. But definitely you will not accept. This is psychology. People will say, when I want to buy something, the things must be new. So that's the thing that I'm actually that's how I actually put in my heart into when I'm doing interior design. I feel that even though this is a client house, but I will treat it as if my own house to do everything. That's how I actually go through to actually achieve whatever I can. So in I will take care of every in the details like everything. As in you take care of yourself or take care of your own baby. That's how you treat it when you do things.
Yeah. Why I'm asked this question because when I've been working with Cammy as a business partner, I'm not a detailed person by the way. I'm not as detailed and as far like Cammy, right? And I love how much she been explained to me. For example, why you should get this quality of light, why your house should have this. If you don't get this, what will be happen, and so on. So the part of go through quality more than quantity, that's what I feel like a lack of nowadays in your industry. And that's why I love to hear from a people who like you really bring something behind the scene of the job that a lot of people didn't know, to like educate them, like you say, right? It's like I treat your house like my own house, so of course I will work with heart and so on. So I'm sure you have a lot of these question and objective in terms of your job. Sometimes people come with the price, right? Like, oh, I
Yep.
want cheap price and I want good. So how do you deal with that, and how do you manage to convince client the price not everything? Because for me, honestly, of course, I know you and I working with you. I know the price is just what you pay right now. But are you want to pay consistency when you stay in the house, that consistency breakdown or have house issue, lighting issue, piping issue, electrical issue? It's just because you want to cheap in the first place. So how do you manage to tell client on this and help people to understand price is just a small small thing in this?
Okay. Basically, how I actually deal with it is, uh, we will actually through the conversation, we will actually will explain to every client. Yes, it's the same thing as in, you know, what is the difference? It is very simple. It's a very simple comparison. You just tell your client what is the difference between you buying local shoe and you buying. Oh, okay. We say bags. What's
Mm,
the difference between you buying a bag from street bags and a LV?
mm,
Why you go to LV?
yep,
Because LV is actually ensure your quality, ensure the after service, ensure you with everything, ensure you that is a life thing. That's
mm,
how I convince them. Of course, you want to have. You think is the money is the thing that actually I cannot afford. That I don't want to go to this extent. But you have to think about it. Are you going to stay in the house 1 year, 1 month? That's the difference.
yes,
I give you this price, you can stay there for 10 years. So how much
mm,
the cost now? You see, you divide to 10 years. 1 year is 365 days. 10 years is
yes,
3,000 plus. So when you divide like that, right, you will see, hey, the money actually is not a lot, but
it
it can
is,
ensure me to stay in this house for 10 years. Or you buying a cheaper things, but can you stay in that 10 years? Maybe three months is already spoiled. You keep every 3 months you go and do it, fixing, go repairing. Will it worth you? Or eventually the cost will be the same as the cost you are supposed to pay one shot. So that's the thing I tell the client that you do a comparison. I mean, they also have to decide lah. That's the thing. That's why I say this is how I actually tell them this is the difference. I'm not charging you a very high sky high price, but I giving you a street things. It's
mm,
equivalence. I give you this standard is equivalent to this standard. It will last you longer. So
mm,
normally that's how I educate my clients. When they go back and think about it, then they will think it's true, right? If I pay this money, I can last for 10 years, 5 years. So what is the cost for 5 years and 10 years when you divide? So this is how we actually tell them the difference. This is how I actually tell them also. So normally they can
yes,
accept. But because normally, okay, people is like that. They will only see the amount when the amount in front is wow, very expensive. But if you divide by 10 years, 5 years, the amount become very small. The number will
yeah,
become small. This is how
yep,
we actually tell the client. Yeah.
yes. I think why is important because very interesting what Camille just shared, because I believe the people who watch this video right now, some people may looking for interior designer for their own house, right? So what advice you would give for like for example young couple going to looking for internet designer, and what they should ask the internet designer, and what they should think about looking for the right match, because I believe it have to be the right match as well. Cammy is very picky person, yeah, by the way. She not any customer she take. So that's the thing that I like about Cammy, that she very straightforward, down on earth, go direct to the point. This is what I'm doing. You love what I'm doing, go for it. If you don't love what I'm doing, it's fine. Find someone with what you need. And that's why I say the thing that Cammy will share will be like with me is priceless, because it's so much value inside. So if the couple come and it's the young people who are watching this video because they still thinking of choosing interior designer, what advice you will give for the people who not in the industry?
Okay, for me, for a young couple, right? Basically, I would advise you all to actually to work out your own budget first. How much you actually cater to do a renovations?
That's a good point. Yes,
You
budget
need to
first.
cater how much. That's a budget. Then the secondly, right? You can actually see. Of course, you don't. Okay, you have to. The second thing is you can actually think of what kind of design you actually really like.
Mm.
That's your dream.
Ah, yes, yeah.
You
It's like
may not know.
the theme of the house.
Yeah, you may not
Yeah.
know that. You may not know that this you can use this money to do this unless you find a designer. Then you tell them. Then you can, because it's very straight away. You can tell the designer. So the first thing is actually you cater a budget. How much you willing to spend? Of course, you need to budget. Let's say we just an example. Let's say you're willing to spend a 20K for a house, but maybe
Mm.
you want to cater another additional 10K. Why? Because you may change. So that one is actually contingency plan that you may need to actually, okay, I may want to add on something. So at least you have a 30K. Then after that you take for your, you look for the things themes or actually concept that you like for your house. But
Mm.
just to let you all know, the dream house you may not be able to do with the budget you have. You may not be able to do. You may not be able,
Yes.
but at least you know this is the thing you already prepare yourself. Then you go and look for another designer. Okay, the other, when you look for the designer, you can actually roughly tell them this is the thing I like. But if let's say you already have a budget constraint, you need to. I will advise you all to tell the designer that that's my budget constraint. I have this much.
Mm.
Can I do this kind of design? If really cannot, then designer can propose. At least it's actually shortened for your process. After you tell them through and flow, then after that you feel that, oh, actually they say cannot do. You're already wasting a
Mm.
lot of time, yourself and the designer also. So you
Yeah.
actually just to tell them, okay, I have these ideas, I go and look for. Then after, when you meet the designer, right, the first thing for me, right, is if you, definitely everyone will actually have this sixth sense lah. You like that person, you will want to continue talk to them. If you don't like
Yes.
the person, right, you straight away I will advise you to just a very simple thing. Then maybe you will go back to think about it. Then you look
Mm.
for another one. Because when you don't like
Mm.
that person, right, first sight, then you don't need to continue to talk already.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
This part is good.
it's the same. It's the same. For my side, if I see that person I don't really like, then I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel relaxed when I talk to them. Then I will tell them I may not I may not the right match. I will advise you to look for someone that can serve you even better. Why I say this?
Mm.
In the renovation period, right? It's not about one day. It's not about one
Yes.
month. At least 3 to 4 months. Then we have groundwork. Then we still meet each other. So when first sight you don't like, that means you don't like already. You will not suddenly you like him after 1 month.
Yep.
You may get, after 1 month, maybe
Yes.
you will hate that person even more. So what's the point you continue? So if
Yes, it's
after one
true.
month you don't like already, you continue 5 months or 4 months you seeing that person, it's not become hate leh. It's big, it's even worse. The situation, the relationship is even worse. So will you continue to see that person that you hate, right, for 5 months, just listen to yourself. If you really
Yep.
don't like, just go for the person you feel comfortable. I like talking to them. When I talk to them, right, I feel whatever they say is very convincing.
Mm.
They can actually give me a feeling that I can get my dream homes. That's very important. That's I
Mm.
actually want to advise the young couple lah, because young couple definitely they have their budgets. Yeah.
Yes. That's a very good point right there. And I think that's a very valuable for whoever looking for interior design. Take note on that, lady and gentlemen, because I think you guys right now in the state of confusing, don't know what is the good in market. And also come to this. How do you deal with competition? Because we know so many internet design in
Mm,
Singapore, right? And of course around the world. Let's be real, it's not all of them come with a good heart. My
mm.
experience I see because back then when I do internet designer as like I go with internet designer as well, and I realize they just copy and paste. Like every house it just look the same to me. And like like you kind of talking to people like robot, like they just repeated the same thing. So of course we can't compare them to you. I mean I know how good your work is, so I don't compare. But I'm asking how do you deal with competition, and how do you give advice for young people who be an interior designer deal with this? What is the advice you will give to them?
Um, for me is okay. For me, how to be actually different from others. I'm not sure about others. For me is I'm actually trying to be an elite. I want to mastery on my lines. So I want
Mm,
to advance whatever I know. I
mm,
exploring. I learn.
mm,
I keep learning. I also have mentor. I learn a lot of things is regarding to the design. So I don't even not really only seeing on interior design. I also looking at fine arts, graphics,
mm.
photographer, architecture. So it actually you trying to understand your area. All is about arts. So I'm actually trying to mastery this part so that when you
Mm.
talk to people, right? Another thing is you need to be also some okay. There's a few designers. Some is actually doing design only. They don't do the practical. They do not have the on-site knowledge. I do like both. So when I do design, I actually can come in. I have a technical knowledge in 10 years. I've been practicing this 10 years. Every
Mm.
10 years, within this 10 years, right, whatever I actually face, is a very good experience. It's very good knowledge for me to enhance myself. So that's how you actually gain all this knowledge through years. So this is how actually that's how I actually different from others. I have both, and I also have graphic designer. I think that's actually add on because I'm also a graphic designer. So I
Yeah.
actually have two. So that's how I enhance. For the youngsters, when you want to start, right? For me, personally, you must tell yourself you really like this as your career. Are you all actually really into this as a career? If you are think that this is just a earning tool or earning tools for you it's very hard for you to move further because when we actually go into details it's really not about earning money. It's the knowledge that nobody can actually take away from you.
Yes,
Nobody.
I agree with this.
There's nobody can take away. You tell me, you tell people I actually have this knowledge. I teach you, but you may not be able to absorb or you may not be able to know what I'm actually talking about. Or you realize, but can you know what's the consequences? What will happen? You will not know. That's the knowledge that you need to know. I feel that this is very important. So if you really put your heart and put your soul into learning something that you really like it, you can do everything you want. I mean, not only interior lah, you can do everything. That's how I actually continue. Even though after 10 years, I still enjoy and I like my work very very much. That's the thing. Yeah.
Question for you is I'm sure you have a lot of story, a lot of failure on the way that we're doing what we're doing, right? Failure is a part of we are where we are. What is the memorable story that you can share with our audience that you learn from that and is still impacting you in this journey?
Okay, definitely I have lah. We definitely will go through that process lah.
Yes.
I have to say I actually have gone through one is actually a house and a landed house that I do.
Mm.
That
Mm.
leakage issue is very serious, and it's actually I mean it's always in my mind, and it actually reminded me because the leakage, right, is very hard for us to detect and very hard for us to solve the problem.
Yes. Oh, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, so
We work in this industry, oh my God.
yeah,
Leakage is the worst.
that's the thing that actually let me go and think through what's the process that I have actually done wrong. As in, now I should realize that in everything when you take on a project, right? But actually, the whole issue, right, is the problem is this house, right? When the architect design, right, is to, let's say they have two open space at the walkway. The open space, right? The design from the architect original is to let the water to go through, the water
Mm.
to go through the whole. But when we do, right, because the owner requested to seal it off, so after we seal, then there's a leakage issue every time when the place that we seal. Then after that, I start to go and look into it. I actually check with the architect friends. We check the things. After then we go through. Then we realize that the design original is actually is to let the water to go through. No matter how you seal it out, right, the wall still can go through the water. The
Wow.
machine is
Okay.
not for you to seal it up. So this is the thing that you have to understand that this is a very pain. Why? Because I didn't do the job. I just take on the job, then I just do without doing a
Mm.
proper backing checkup.
I see. Like homework
Yes,
and double check.
yes. So it's the checking in details and checking of the background of the condo or landed. Everything is very important. Maybe the house in 10 years, 5 years, or will have actually in a different condition. But that's my failure that time that I do not check. So when I do not check the first step, I did not do the groundwork on checking. It cost me 2 years of pain to seeing the leakage every every month, 2 years
Wow.
stretch.
My God, that's painful.
So that is very painful. But that's from there, right? So I start everything. There's a detail. Every detail I will take on. I want to look into it before I take on every project. I actually go and analyze it and I understand the thing before I take on the thing. That's the detail lah. So this is for me is you have to take note and do your homework on everything that you want to take on, every project you want to take on. That's the
Wow.
thing.
I hear your story. I feel the pain, man. Really. 2 years. Oh my goodness. I can imagine every week you have to go down, every month you have to go down. Because
Yes.
Cammy also my business partner and Cammy always help me take care of I'm very bad in that side job, take care of all this and I always get feedback from Cammy, but no matter how many years I do together with Cammy, I still cannot get her level. So that's to come back to the thing that Cammy just say the more you do something, the more you master at it, and the more you're good at it, and the more people pay for what you've been gained over the years. That's called experience. That's called like knowledge. Like a lot of things I will never know until I meet Cammy. Like when we do work together at business, I think it saved me at least 10 years of making mistake and what right contact to go and why the house have certain issue because doing property is the whole different world. Like when people say, oh, you just easy take rent from people, I say no, 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 no. When the house break down, that's the when you take money from people. Don't think this is the easy job. One more
Mm.
question that I want to ask that, of course, we learn from that as well. What do you wish you know before you start this industry? I'm sure you have a lot of things that you want to to
Um,
know, you wish to know before you start this.
I wish that I actually met uh, a good mentor.
Save time, yeah.
You actually, when you meet a good mentor, then you can save, of course, save time, but you will learn a lot. Because when I
Mm,
started,
I
right,
agree.
it's actually, I don't really have a lot of people teach me things.
Mm,
I start myself to learn people. There's people to try to ask, right? Not really people want to share with you lah. Not really people like to share everything, every detail, everything to you. But I wish that I have a very good mentor to start off with, that I can follow them, then I can learn from them. Then instead
mm,
of I actually walk the past 10 years, right, been through all the things. I mean, it's not only the time, it's not only time, effort,
money.
money also. You actually spend a lot of these things. I went through these 10 years.
Yeah,
Who am I today? Because I don't want to, know. So I'm actually very happy if let's say I have someone they want to know, I will teach them. I will willing
yeah,
to teach them because I know what I have been through the 10 years. It's very
yeah.
painful.
Yes. That's
That's
the one of thing I love about Cammy. I know she don't like me when I sweet talk. We never sweet talk to each other, but I love about Cammy is the sincerity in terms of work. Like we very direct forward, we very straight for the point. And sometimes people would think like, oh, female do business very emotional. Cammy is the one of the person that inspire me a lot in terms of work because she showed me woman is not always like emotional. Women can be professional, women still can do work better, women still can do exactly the work that men can do as long as you have a love and a passion for your work and we take the work seriously. You talking about mentor, then how about who is inspire you in this journey about your style of working? I'm sure you have someone that is idol for you that you follow their style of working, and have you learned anything from that, and is that applied to your style of working right now?
uh basically I actually not really have one at the moment, but because I
Mm,
actually do a lot of difference. I think the whoever that inspire me along is not now, is when I'm young. I have a
mm.
I have an art teacher when I secondary school.
Oh,
He's
that's so nice.
he's a very good art teacher to me during my secondary school. Uh, he teach me a lot of things. It's a he lah. He teach me a lot of things. He teach me how to be uh, confidence on myself on doing what I'm doing. If I'm actually good in it, just go for it. So I'm actually all along, right? I'm actually inspired. Is he's the first person that inspired me very much. That's why I'm actually interested in arts. Then I explore a lot of different like, I mean different of things like graphics, fine arts, interiors. Then finally I find that interior is the thing that I love it so much. Then I actually further my study. Then I actually go into it. And he's give me that passion. He's also like he's a fine art teacher, so he give me that feeling that if you want to do something, you make sure you go all the way in. Don't do it halfway. That's the thing that he's the one that inspired me all the way until now. But I should
Mm,
thank him for that small little thing when I start. So this is what I can advise. Just if you like the things, just go for it. I'm not very
yes.
rich. I'm not very rich, but I still go into interior. I still study doing design work.
That's nice. Oh, that is a very nice story right there. That now we know who is inspire Cammy to be this long journey to be the internet design. So, what is the most difficult project that you've been take, and how was that turn your style of working to this moment? I'm sure you have a project that is so difficult for you that you've been turning into something amazing.
Uh, I should say, right, to me, right, there's no difficult projects. There's no difficult projects. It depends how you see things. If you think that this is what you like and this is things that you want to create to make a to give him a life, right? I think everything is not that difficult. I mean, when you put heart and soul inside, it's not difficult. There's nothing to okay in my dictionary. There's no thing called difficult. There's no thing called difficult. It only depends whether you want to do it or not. To me.
That's a very expired sentence right there. I think especially for young people, because they will like have a lot of excuses why we should not do certain thing, why it's so difficult, why we're so fast to give up. I can see that from you that you make people to realize it's not about difficult. It's about you can do it if you book heart and soul inside. And to be honest, Cammy is the most hardworking person. Like sometimes I see her work. I feel like, oh my god, I thought I work hard and I meet someone work harder than me. That's I have to say to Cammy. And I love how she books so much her love to the each project. I don't know how much I should say about that, but yeah, I learned a lot about that as well. Got one question that from one of our audience that when they know that I'm going to interview you today, they ask you
Mm,
about all the project in Singapore. They are overseas and they were curious how Singapore managed to deal with mosquito issue and like animal issue when Singapore you have so much tree and green. That's the question from a kind of in your industry.
for
I
and
send to
you
you.
are mosquito issues.
Yeah.
Basically, Singapore do not have a lot of mosquito issue, lah, I have to say. Although there's a lot of
Mm.
trees, because
Yes.
the government is very good. I have to say, we should thanks to the government because they actually have monthly, they have fogging, so it's actually do not have a lot of mosquito issue. I mean, believe you
Mm.
also know, right? Whatever level you
Yes, I
stay,
know.
right, you don't have a lot of mosquito issues.
Yep.
Animals, we also do not have a lot of streets dog or streets cats. We I don't think we see lah. So we don't really actually have this issue to take care of.
Yep.
I have to say we thanks the government for doing very well their jobs,
Yep.
that
Yep.
we don't have such issue in Singapore. Really do
Yes.
not have.
This is
Yeah.
I quite know a little bit. So basically in
Mm,
Singapore, right, each houses for audience who are not in Singapore. So this is what we're sharing with you guys. So in Singapore, each houses you cannot have water in the house. Even the pail to keep normal water. If the government come and check mosquito and you have to pay fine very heavily. Basically, they don't want you to save any water pail in the house. No tree in the house would like have a hole for water there, and then the mosquito can lay egg. And also like cockroach, because every day Singapore is I think the only country that every day they will take rubbish from your rubbish every day in every block, every houses. So it's kind of the hygiene standard here is so high that it's rarely for you to have mosquito. Even my house is next to the park, like National Park Singapore, plus next to the sea, next to a lot of water, river, and so on. But then, yeah, it's true. It's don't have mosquito issue because really the government is take care of the animal part is so well, really so well. I don't know how they manage to do that, but yeah, it's really amazing job in Singapore about hygiene on this.
yeah.
Uh, Other question about to run a business, internet design business in Singapore? Because okay, talk about art and work, amazing work that you have been done. But I think talk about to run this business also another topic that I'm sure a lot of young people were curious. How do they can start with a startup to do this, and what the process and what the advice you will give to them if they want to start to be their own boss, like you make your own business run, and how to manage that and manage to grow your business in this period of COVID. But trust me, COVID is more busy than normal. So for whoever to start this journey, what advice you will give to them in terms of business sharing?
For a startup, I have to say I will advise the youngsters, right, before you start out your own,
Mm,
right, maybe you should gain your knowledge. You work with the
mm,
company at least 5 years, because when you
that's a
learn,
good advice.
that one is actually a stepping stone. When you learn, you know the basic. of course you are able to experience it because in a company, right, you have different colleagues doing different things. You will learn
Yep.
from different mentor. So
Mm.
our advice to actually you at least you actually go and work for people at least 5 years before you start out, because at least the 5 year, right, able for you to be able to uh, you have the knowledge, you have the technical, you have the ideas, and you know how actually a company should start off. Of course, normally when you actually youngsters, you want to be an entrepreneur, you are the key man person.
Yep.
The key man
One man
person,
show.
yeah, you are a key man person and you're the one man show. But that's the point, that when you are a key man person, you are the one man show, right? You are the person you are going to meet the client. Can you tell the client that actually I'm a startup company but I have no experience? I just like my job, then I just want to do your house.
That's a
What's
bit
the
risky.
what
I'm sorry, I'm not going to hire that. Sorry.
do you get what I mean? So
Yes.
psychology way, when I think of it, right, the first thing I will think, is this person capable enough to do my house? Do they have the enough knowledge to handle this job? You get what I mean? Of course,
Yes.
but to me, like some people they will bluff, but I will advise you don't bluff, because if you don't meet a client that is actually have the knowledge in reno, right, then still okay.
Yep.
But if your first job you meet a client, right, it's actually they know about reno, or they will know this is not their first time,
Mm.
I tell you, then you will be gone
Yep.
very soon, very fast. That's the thing.
Repetition.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think at least you work for others for 5 years, you gain the knowledge, because from there you can learn a lot of different things, because you have different, definitely a company, you have a managers, you have your seniors, you have your colleagues, everyone have different minds, then you can actually gather difference of ideas, different view, different opinion. So that's the thing I also gather from that before I become my own boss. So I
Yep.
can actually I learn through, I learn whatever they teach me also. But they also, from there you can always observe also, you can learn from different people. So you actually gather a lot. You have more information for yourself. When you go and
Yes.
face the client, right, you can actually counter them better. That's what I feel. That you, if you want to be your own, of course, if you are really very good, you are very good when you are studying, you're already very good, you actually uh, uh, when doing studying, you already do some works with other people, you have experience, I mean, you are able, you can do whatever you want, as long as you actually to me it's like, as long as you are actually have the knowledge, you don't bluff. I mean, that one only yourself can tell yourself, like I cannot tell you,
Yeah.
you don't bluff lah. So
Yeah.
so don't think that it's okay if I can meet, I can have a client, right, then I can bluff them through. That is very dangerous if you do that. You do not know.
Yep.
Maybe the first job you might meet someone is actually very experienced. Then you will have this, because okay, I have to tell you a story. I have a last time I have a colleague. He's
Yep.
very new, and he bluffed the client, like when he get a job, until
Wow.
at the end he got the job, but at the end he get a lawyer letter as well.
That's scary.
You get what I mean? So that's the consequences. He bluffed through,
Wow.
but he also get a letter from lawyers from the
Can I ask
client.
a little bit more detail here? Sorry. Lawyer letter about what? Because he not do the work properly or
He
what
did
he
not do the
get?
work properly, and he did not do whatever he promised, and he can't
Ah,
deliver what he promised also.
wow. That's pain ass, man. That's a
Yeah.
painful part. Okay,
So
for
so so
entrepreneur and
that's
young people, please do not promise something you can't. You know, Singapore, you cannot mess with law one. Whatever you
yeah.
book on the contract, whatever you sign, I'm sorry, Singapore law is very, very strict.
So
Yes.
that's the thing. Also, the other thing is maybe you want to start out your own, right? Black and white is also very important. Contract is very important.
Mm.
Every project must have a contract.
Yes.
Do not skip this. Some people will say, okay, I do first lah. Later on, then I will drop out the contract.
Mm.
To me, it's like the contract is very important. The contract is to protect both sides, both party,
Yep.
you and the so you can actually do because the contract actually can be is to protect yourself, right? If anything happen, you can. I mean, of course, you have to know the pro and con. The pro is you actually protect yourself, but of course, you cannot do something you are not. You promise really cannot do lah. You put inside a
Yeah.
contract. You also
Mm.
get yourself in trouble also.
Yes.
But at the same time, the client or whatever cannot sue you because he said, hey, you said you want to do this, but you never do. Because in the contract, if there's not said in the contract, that means I no need to do. You get what I mean? So they cannot sue you. So that's the thing I think
Yes.
is also very important
Mm.
to understand this. So every time when you start a project, you must have a contract between the
Yeah.
client. Yeah, that's the thing.
That's a very good point right there, because why I'm asking that question, because a lot of people just study done and they straight away want to be entrepreneur. And I think the more I bring more entrepreneur here to bring to the young people, to let them know that nothing beat experience, and to gain experience is take time, right? It's not overnight. It's not suddenly today you born and tomorrow you be a success entrepreneur, woman or man. Everybody go through the same pain. Everybody go through the same cycle of learning, failure, and then we gain our experience and knowledge on the way. Is I'm sure also you have a lot of learning experience on your way of where do you get on this knowledge from and information from, because now is the technology time. A lot of people go online and learn.
Yeah.
Especially today, this video I want to share more to people who in art industry or interior designer, graphic designer, who don't
Mm.
have much experience to tap on knowledge and where the resources is. So what
Mm.
is the advice for them so they can tap on this information, also knowledge, to educate themselves, to gain the experience? Where is the best place for them to go through on that?
Okay, for the very basic one, right? Normally I check through the things, right? I learning. It's not learning. It's sometimes I actually check through. You can go to Pinterest. You can
Mm,
see images. You can understand. But of course, Google is the best place. You can learn a lot of things. You can
yes.
learn a lot of things. So actually, internet is quite a good things to learn everything. You have to go and search about what is the concept, but of course if you actually able to learn the things besides the internet, I mean magazine, arts magazine
Mm,
is quite a good things for me because I normally is if I'm not in Google in internet or whatever I buy art magazine. But the art
mm,
magazine is not restrict me on only interior. I'm actually seeing a lot of different arts things. So like me myself, some of my things sometimes I'm inspired by what architecture. So I will buy architecture books instead of seeing the interior design books.
yeah.
There I can aspire more things as in although the architecture the line is actually about the line work, the finishing of the external. So I'm actually inspire myself through architecture's item, architecture buildings. That's how I actually see myself. So depends on you have to look out what do you like. Even I also do painting myself.
Yes.
Painting is very much like an architecture painting. It's
Yeah.
inspired from architecture. So you have to actually find out what you really like. Then you go into that so that things can inspire you. So when you actually or also you also need to actually update it, go and check okay online, see a lot of website like what kind of things that can actually improve yourself or what is the latest. But my advice is you see really okay, just check because human is like that. When you see something, you think that thing is nice, then you want to copy.
Mm,
Not every house we can use the same thing.
yes.
But cannot be
Can't do
using
the
the
same.
one design for the 10 house. So it's very hard for you to do that. So that's why I say normally I inspired by the architecture. So I actually buying architects books to see. Although it's different things, but you inspire from there, you're doing different things. That's why you get
Mm,
different people. I was seeing
yeah,
different things to inspire myself to do the interior. That's how I do it. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Mm.
that's a very nice resources there for information. Whoever want to go more deep and detail in this industry, that's some advice from Cammy as well.